Before I get started on my video, make sure you guys subscribe to Sports Chat with Matt. All right, if you guys, I always say this, man, if you guys are gonna always give your source a shout out. Always give your source a shout out. And my source for today is Sports Chat with Matt. He does great interviews, did a great interview with Calvin Henderson. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe on his channel as well. All right, let's get started. What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So look, man, I got my dude, one of my closest guys when it comes to in this boxing world, this small boxing world that we know, by the name of Calvin Henderson. For y'all that don't know Calvin Henderson recently fought, well, not recently, but he fought, he's been in the ring with David Morrell. He was Jake Paul's sparring partner and whatnot. I'm not gonna tell y'all what happened in that sparring session, but just know I know some things. I don't think Jake Paul will be sparring my guy anymore. But anyways, listen, Calvin Henderson, man, a great fighter. Originally from Texas, he fights out of Arkansas or whatnot, man. He has some things to say about his fight with David Morrell. But before I even touch on what Calvin said, because I know a lot of y'all are gonna say, oh, he's just hating me mad because he lost. It's actually, Calvin's not the first person to mention what I'm about to bring up. I'm gonna go ahead and expose a few things, but first, before I even bring it up, I want you to hear it from a former David Morrell foe. Check this out.
What do you think about David Morrell overall as a fighter, man?
I mean, he's definitely like a very strong, fighter. I mean, he's very, like I said before, I have a lot of respect for him. He's very sound, technically he's good going back and coming forward. He was very patient tonight. My biggest issue with him as a fighter is the drug testing. And I believe that there's something going on with that team. And, the need to have us come to Minnesota to fight him here in Minnesota. They avoided fighting me in Vegas, but they were happy to fight me here in Minnesota where there's no drug testing. And only to make me think that, I mean, it's not that I would have had any means of cheating, but come on. Like, you make me sign a contract for VIDA testing or WIDA testing, and then there's no testing whatsoever. So it feels like, what's a setup. And it is what it is, It is what it is, yeah.
Do you think that it's a big possibility that Morrell is possibly on something?
Absolutely. I believe 100% that he's on something because in the fight in April, we saw a lot of acne on his face and on his back. And I definitely feel like, yes, he is on something. I mean, he's big, he's strong, and it's more around the fact that they make you think they're going to test and they don't test because they want to give themselves that advantage, you understand? So I'm like, okay, if you have nothing to hide, why are you refusing to test? You have nothing to hide, so why are you refusing to test? So my only dissatisfaction with the whole process was, we both signed documents to be drug tested by WIDA, and none of that happened. There was no testing by the commission before the fight and after the fight. And they said that, okay, they explicitly stated that, the commission was not required to do testing and that they chose not to do any testing for this fight. So, I mean, I really think that there's something up in that regard, but it is what it is, he was a better man tonight.
Now, once again, listen, it's a lot of things in the boxing world that a lot of you guys do not know, all right? And kind of like what did Kendrick say? It's a lot of crazy things that go in the industry, and some of y'all here to police it. Well, listen, bro, it's a lot of things that go on in the boxing world that you guys don't really know about, man. And the truth be told, man, like some of this stuff that goes on is actually disgusting. Not in the P. Diddy fashion, but literally, it will make you lose respect for a lot of guys that you really admire in the sport. I've known a few people, I'm not gonna say any names, but I know a few people that fought on the PBC card, right? And they were telling me how the PBC did them, like had them only locked up in not locked up, but like in a certain spot where they couldn't get any water, they couldn't get anything, they couldn't have any exercise or get the last weight. They had to like stay up all night to get the weight out because they wouldn't allow them to use the gyms, but they would allow their fighter to use the gym. Like, it's a lot of unfair stuff that goes on, bro. And that's why I tell, like, boxing is never really a fair shake. It's never a fair shake when you got somebody that has a backing like Top Rank or Matchroom or PBC or something like that. Like, it's never a fair shake because they're gonna do whatever they can to make sure that their guy that they invested their money in gets the upper hand. So it's never really a 50-50 shake, a 50-50 fight. Like, again, like, I know people that I'm like, I can't say any names though, because I don't want to do my bros like that, but just know I know people that fought on PBC cards that was televised, and the way that they were done and mistreated is just like, it would make you lose. It would make you the reason why I didn't turn pro at all, because I know things in the sport, a lot of stuff. Now, I want you guys to hear what Calvin Henderson had to say, who was another former David Morrell opponent. And to make things worse is these two guys aren't even the only one to say that. Alantez Fox had something to say as well. But listen to what Calvin Henderson had to say about David Morrell.
You had a world title fight with David Morrell, and we were talking on Instagram about running another interview back, and you said you want to talk about that fight. So, yeah, talk about that fight. What's on your mind?
So, I'm not the only one that says it, but I'm going to tell my side of the story. So, I got contacted to fight David Morrell. Had to be in 2022 in June for the WBA World title. On Showtime, I was co-main event in Minnesota, his second home. And so, when when you get there, you sign paperwork regarding the fight and the fight details. So, the day of the weigh-ins, I'm signing my paperwork for everything, and WBA has paperwork saying that we will be drug tested tomorrow before the fight starts. I signed the paperwork, he signed his paperwork, boom, bam. It's pretty normal, pretty standard, especially for a world title, especially from WBA, who's been around for years. I think WBA was actually the first sanctioning body in professional boxing. You know what I mean? One of the most recognizable. And so we get to the fight night. This is June 4th, I believe, on Saturday. And I go to my locker room. I get there, and I sit down in my locker room. I go, I got to pee, man. I'm going to go ahead and get my piss over with now. So I call commission and tell them, hey, call the WBA so they can come over here. I can do my drug test. I hear him talking on walkie-talkie. She goes, he doesn't. Oh, well, what do you mean? I'm like, what? That's weird. So then the WBA representative comes upstairs to my locker room and go like, hey, so about the drug test. Don't worry about it. We're not going to order. We forgot to order it, so don't worry about it. I go, wait, hold on. No. I signed paperwork yesterday to begin drug tests, and now I am worried about it. Where is it at? She's like, oh, no, it's just okay, man. We just forgot it. I said, no, we got to figure this shit out right now. So she goes, well, the best we can do is order it now, and they'll be here for after the fight. I go, like, I bet. That's fine with me. As long as drug testing, I'm cool. So the fight happens. We all know what happened in that fight, man. But I go back to the locker room, and guess what? No drug test. No drug test at all, man. So if we go fight for a world title, and I signed paperwork for this world title list, and there's no drug test. And it wouldn't be weird if I didn't talk to two other people who also fought the same opponent, David Morrell, and the exact same thing happened. They get to the locker room, and there's no drug test. We get to order the test. It happened. Everybody I know that fought him. And so I think it's very weird and very, I don't know what I'm trying to use for it, unethical. You know what I mean? To be a WBA in this big major world sanctioning body, and they forget order the test.
It's sad, and this is the side of boxing that would really allow you to know how dark and how much the sport is just the conspiracies that go on in the sport or whatnot, right? It's a lot of shady stuff. Obviously, you guys know the shady stuff that goes on with the scorecards and all that type of stuff. But it's stuff behind doors that's even worse than the scorecards themselves, or robberies with decisions or whatnot. Just stuff that a lot of people don't understand. Paulie Malignaggi speaks on it a little bit as well. But a lot of these top fighters, bro, aren't really clean, bro. I'm not gonna say any names either, but I can remember. But I will say this. I'm gonna use this as an example, right? I can remember Teddy Atlas speaking on when Mayweather and Pacquiao had their whole issue, you know, going back and forth, had that shit going on, right? Teddy Atlas was saying how like one of Pacquiao's people emailed somebody out of Floyd's camp, and he said it was a reliable source that told him that one of Pacquiao's people emailed one of Floyd's people and was like, if we test positive for a bad substance, like what would the repercussion be? And my whole thing to that is, fam, why is that even a question if you're not doing anything, right? Now, this ain't no video to diss Pacquiao, because, you know, it is what it is. But that's just an example as to like how shady things go in the boxing world. Like, it just, you know, it's sad that situations like this happen, right? But again, you know, if I told you everything I knew, you probably wouldn't even be a fan of the sport anymore. I want to give a major shout out to my dude Calvin Henderson for even, you know, speaking on this, and hopefully you know, hopefully you get another shot at the title. I pray you do. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?